Hello everyone, welcome back to the Python journey that we started last week. This is day 4 and we are going to quickly recap on the things we learned last week or the last time, not last week entirely. So we looked at variables, data and data types and the different data types we have in Python. Now, if you already know these things, you can just skip ahead and start the video for today. But yeah, these are the different data types we learned the last time. So I'm just going to go to day 4 now, the file I created for day 4, and start day 4, which is today. Now today, actually let me show you what I prepared for today. So we're going to dive deeper into strings, lists, and tuples, which are also known as the sequence data type. Now, the reason why I chose strings, lists, and tuples is because they are actually related and they have, a common behavior. Um, so we are also going to look at their methods later on. We'll also look at string formatting and what are methods, which will also be part of this tutorial or this video today, or a tutorial per se. And then we'll also look at some few operators in Python as well. All right, so let's jump right in. So this is everything we'll have to learn today. So I'll start here, day 4, and let me create a few variables. So I'll create one called string name like this, and I'll put my name there, Willie, like that, and I'll create another one called there's a name list, right? Name list like this. Name list. This mic is actually blocking my view. I think I should get. All right, okay, it's no longer blocking. So I'll try. Name list, right? So I'll put a list. So to create a list, you put the brackets there, the square bracket, and then you add in any data type within this list. You can have a list within your list. All right, so I'll create I'll call this Willie here, and I'll put another one here called Wilfred, which is like the longer version of Willie. Anyways, that's my name. I don't think of any example. So I'll create another name tuple, tuple like this, and then and set it to something like this. Willie. Actually, let me add tuple so that it looks different from the rest, and then put another one here. Okay, this was a bad idea. Willie two like this. Just leave it like that. Put it like this. Okay. All right. So let's quickly check the data type of each of these variables here. So to do that, you print, the data. You print the type. So this is the type. You use the type function that was built into Python for us to, check the data type of any variable. So I'll put the string in there. I'll simply copy this one and then duplicate it as well. So yes, I'll change it to each one of these. Okay. Let me save and run the. Always remember to change this to current file. So let me run. Now we can see str list and tuple printed in the terminal. Sorry. Now, so what do they have in common? I actually wanted to explain why I chose to use, strings tuple, and so the reason why I chose them is that they have something in common, and what they have in common is the way our computer reads the data stored into them. So each item in a list has a position, right? This is like take it as a queue, right, where people are standing in. So each person has a position in that queue. So the first person has a certain position, the second person is number 2, number 3, and number 4, and so on. Now, in computers, we don't start counting from 1. So computers actually start counting from 2. Computers start counting from 0. Sorry, my bad. Sorry. Computers start counting from 0. And yeah, so we can access each item in these collections here with that particular number, and the number is known as index. So let me remove the type from here and then start accessing each item from the list or from each collection type. So I'll just remove this one like this, and let me check again. So this will simply print each one of them. So to access the first element in each one of them, I'll just do them together. I'll just come here. You use the bracket sign. So the bracket sign indicates that, okay, we want to access an item from any of these variables using the index. So let's just put 0 here, and I'll show you that the computer actually start reading from 0. So we'll put 0 there, and then you can see that W, which is the first item here, is printed, and then Willie, which is the first element of this list here, is also printed. And the same thing for the tuples, which both of them are comma separated ones. To actually verify that here, so I will do something like this: print. I think there's a way to check name, and then let me just put index, and then put the index of W, right, and print this. Now you can see 0 is printed in the terminal after the W. So this is it. Now, how were we able to get this index? Let me just move it to the top again. Just remove that from there. You might be wondering how we were able to get the index from a string. Why did we do this? All right, so the reason why we're able to put a dot in front of this name variable, string name variable, and then do whatever we want to do with the following thing that is here, which I'll tell you the name very soon, is because Python has something built into it for each data type, right? Ranging from strings to dictionaries and stuff like that. All of them have something called methods. So here, everything that comes before the dot notation, after the dot sign here, is known as methods. So there are different type of methods in Python, and how I was able to get this index method is simply by checking it from the the data type. So there's a way you can check it. You can check how many method or the type of method that exists within a certain data type. Now, before we even jump into that, so this is a string, so we're able to access this method and then pass in these values here. So to check the kind of method that exists, okay, let me just go here. I will use my terminal to do that, because the results here will be too much for us to see. So here's my terminal. I will start Python here like this, and then let me simply, oh okay, I wanted to clear it, but there is a funny way to do that in Python. Let me just break out here, clear this terminal, and then run Python again like this. All right, so to check the data type, the method that exists for a certain data type, you simply put dir, which is the dir, is also a method or a function, a built-in function in Python. Dir and then you pass in the data type. Now I've showed you guys how to find the data type of a particular element. So let's just do that quickly. So what you do, you type type. Funny how I said that, type, and then pass in the data type. So let me just put like a hello here, and then put your parentheses, and this will tell you that it is a string. Now this value here is what you pass into that there method or built-in function. You just put the str like this without the quotation mark, and then type. Now you can see some funny stuff on the screen, plenty letters, right? All of these things are, stuff you would need to come back to every time. You don't need to memorize any of these methods at all. When you need them, you simply come here and then you search, then you just get them. So the ones with the underscore, we'll look at them later on in the course. But what we want to focus on is this, find ones here. So we can see lower, we can see replace, rfind, rindex, and so on. You can see upper here. So if you don't understand any one of them, you can simply Google it and you will get a good result about that. So what I'll do is I'll use the upper one and see what that will give us in our terminal. So I'll just come back up here. So I'll just say, let me just print, something to actually, I'll just print a divider, something like this. So to tell our terminal that this was old one, I'll just print again. Let me use one of those methods, which is the upper one. So you can see the string name, this variable here, Willie, with value Willie, started with a capital W. So let's change it to all lowercase. Then we can do that by just typing the name of the variable, which is the string name, then followed by what's the dot notation, the dot notation, which some ID is this by pop-up, which is like a helper, so you can see all of this method that we saw in our terminal here in your IDE straight away. The one we want to use is this upper one here. So you can do upper like this and just call it. You call a method by putting the parentheses in front of it. Now you can also read about the method by just hovering it, and then depending on the code editor you're using, a brief tutorial will show up on it. But if you don't understand it, you can just go to the docs.python.org website to read about it. All right. So what I'll do now is to just run this code in our terminal like this. Now you can see I separated it, and this is our answer here. Now you can see that Willie has been changed to capital letters, and same thing applies to every other data type here, whether it is a tuple or a list. So you can access different methods from them. Actually, let's take a look at one example here. Print, I'll pass in the, let me check time. Okay, and time is really running fast. Name list here like this, and then let me just okay, I'll just use this one, the pop one, right? So I'll just use pop. So if I don't know what pop is, I'll just hover it like this. Done. So there'll be just put your mouse on it, it will just show up. Like I select and put your mouse on it, it will show you a brief explanation of it. So pop doesn't really take any so it removes and return an item at index. Okay, so pop will not modify our variable, but it will just remove one item from the you know, from the list, and then return that item that it's removed. Also, let me confirm this thing that pop doesn't modify the variable. So I will run this code here. Now you can see that Wilfred, which is the last item, has been removed. So pop removes the last item. Of course, it modifies the list. We can see that it's just one, item that is left in the list, which is actually nice. All right, that's it for what do you call it? Lists and stuff like that. Now, one thing about tuples here, you cannot modify tuples, right? So you cannot change the values within a tuple. Let's say this name tuple now, we want to change something. Let me say you want to change this tuple to some. Tuples are immutable form of lists. So I'll just print this one here again to separate it like this. And I just put let me just create modify tuple. Let me just put it like that. And then take this name tuple, right? Okay, actually, I'll not do it that way. I'll just say name tuple, yeah. And then take the first element, which is the 0 at index 0, and then assign it to a number like 2. And then let's print it to see the value that it will give us. All right. So let's print, and you can see there's an error in the console. It says tuple object does not support item assignment. So you cannot modify a tuple. It remains the same after being created. All right, so that's it for methods and the string data type. So let's take a look at string formatting. How do we format string in Python? Again, I've left this. Let me just remove this one here. So string formatting. So the reason why you need to format a particular string is because you want to make it dynamic and use some variables within your string. So there are two ways of format. Actually, I have two ways that I prefer using, since they all do the same thing. There are more than two actually, but since they all do the same thing, I prefer using two. I just chose two out of the list and chose them as my favorite ones. So I'll create another. Let me just simply do it like this straight away. Print. Now, normally, if we did something like this, my name is, and then we put, okay, let me just show you the first way to do it. The first way is known as string interpolation, right? So you put in curly braces the value, or the variable you want to insert into your string to make it dynamic, right? So let me just put the name of our variable here, which is string name. Now you can see this F in front of it. That was auto completed for me. But if I let me remove this S first and print it for you to see the first results. Now the first result says my name is like this, without any value coming from this name variable. So it doesn't see it as a name variable, right? Or if we put the F sign in front of it now, this will format the string. Now you can see the color of this curly braces when the variable has changed. When we print this now, you can see my name is Willie is printed in the terminal, which is really cool. The second way to do this is to let me just copy this one again. let me create another variable. I'll just give it age is 35. All right. So I'll say, so again, you just type the string, just say I am, then you put the curly braces now without value, right? And then put dot format, and then you put the variable that you want to put inside this curly brace within this format function here. So you just put age inside. When we run this code, you can see I am 35 printed in the terminal. Now if you have more than one, you can just, I'm 35 and my name is, let me just do it this way. So you separate the variables with commas, right? So put the next one inside, which is what, let me just put string name here, right? When we save and run, now you can see I am 35 and my name is Willie. It's printed in our terminal, which is really cool. So yeah, that's it for the first part of our tutorial today. And the next one we're going to look at is operators. So we'll come to operators. Now, there are different types of operators in Python. We have the arithmetic operators, which comprise of the plus, minus, which one again? Division, multiplication, and exponential. Sorry. Exponential, right? I don't know. All right, exponentials. That means something raised to the power of another thing. So let me just print a few of them that we might not have seen before. So this is how you do the multiplication in Python. So you do 3 times 4. This will give us 12. You can see 12 is printed in our terminal. To do exponential, sorry, 3 raised to power 4, 81. I don't know if exponentiation is correct or not. I just feel like it's not. All right, I'll look at it later. All right, that gives us 81, 3 raised to power 4. Another one you want, I would like to show you is the modulus sign, right? So modulus sign is basically like a division, but then this type of division returns the remainder of that particular division. If you did 7 divided by 3, for instance, like this, if you did this would have given you 2.33335. Now, the modulus operator is simply the percentage sign, and then you run the code. This will give you 1. So this is the remainder of that particular operation. Now there's another one known as the double division. What this does is it will return the the answer of the division without the decimal place. Like we saw before, when we divided 7 by 3, we had 2. But with the the double division, it just takes the 2, which is here. Why am I touching the screen? Which is here, and then leaves the rest. So when I run this code again, you can see 2 is printed in the terminal. Now we have assignment operators. Assignment operators are used to assign values to stuff. So the one that we've been seeing all this while is, let me just type age again and give it a value of 40. Now we use this equal sign. This equal sign is known as assignment operator. This doesn't mean age is equal to, but it means age has now value of 40. Age is 40. We have other ones. Let's use the plus equal sign. So what this plus equal does is it takes the previous value of this age and then adds 40 to it. So if you print this in the terminal, print h like this, and then run this code here, you can see this will give you 40. Same thing for the minus sign, this will give you 0. So you can do this with all the other arithmetic operators. Just put them in front of the equal sign and then run your code. All right. So the next one now, this is the comparison operators. The comparison operators basically compare, values to each other. So I'll just use one of them, and you can read some article on that. So I'll write some articles actually about that and put it in the description of this video later. I'll update it later. So you can print let's say 5. I'll just press it. 6 is superior to 5, right? Which is true. So you expect true to be printed in the terminal. So these operators basically evaluate or compare two stuff and return, true or false. So we have the superior sign, superior or equal to. So something like this will still give us true. Let me run this, clear, and run again. Now you can see true is printed. Superior or equal, inferior or equal, and we have the not equal to. So let me just use that quickly. You put the exclamation sign and this one here, not equal to, which is actually true. But if we put 5 is not equal to 5, this will give us false. So 5 is actually equal to 5. Now another one I would like to show us is the logical operators, which is the and or and not operators. So you have them like this, and or and not like this, and or not operators. So these ones too are really cool. So I would do something like this. Let's say print true. Let's use the and first, and false. What do you think the answer will be? So I'd like to pause this video and guess. Okay, so let me explain what happens here. False is printed, right? So this and operator basically goes around and looks for, you can hover it to read about it actually. So this is it here. You can just read all of this, but I'm not going to read that. So this goes, it checks on its left, right? This is the first one before the and operator is true. So it goes again on the left and check if there is any, false value. If there's no false value, it will just return true, right? If we put true and true here, true and true like this will just return true. But if you put true and false like this, true and false, what do you think will happen? False. So it looks for false values. If it doesn't find any false value, it stops. So no more problem. And you can see some people do something like this. 5 and 6, right? This 5 and 6 will give you true. Will give you 6. Why is this giving you 6? It's because 6 is a truth value. To check for truth values, just print, passing bool, and then, passing the value you want to check the, the truthy state of. So I'll pass in 6 here and then run this code like this. Now you can see this is giving me true. It means 6 is a truthy value. 5 is also a truthy value. And we already saw that if we have true and true, this will give us true. So that's why, the last element to be true in this particular example is returned. Now, if this was a false value, what kind of false value should I use? Okay, none, like this. None is not a false value. I'm sure it is. So let's just put none there to see. Now you can see none is false here, and then none is also being printed in the terminal, which is really cool. Same thing applies for the OR operator, but then the opposite. So if we change this here to OR, you know what will happen? It will print the first, element to be true. So that one just goes around and, stops when there's a truthy value. But if this none came in first, what do you think will happen? So let me just put all 5. 5 will still be printed in the terminal because it's looking for truthy values. So that's logical operators. Now, the NOT operator basically, is self-explanatory. So you cannot pass NOT operator the way we use the logical operator. So you just put it with a single operand, right? With the logical operators, we use 2 operands, the one on the left and the one on the right. But with the NOT operators, nope. So this would basically change it to false because 5 was what was a truthy value. All right, so that's it for operators and, the methods, data types, the sequence data type, which comprise of strings, tuples, and lists. We also saw the different ways to format strings and what else? Yeah, so that's it for this video today. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And see you again. Bye.